Hello everyone, welcome back to Array Blog once again. So as we are continuing our JavaScript tutorial series, and in the past video we have learned about and we covered about expression, statements, comments, and template literals. Now it's time to give your JavaScript some code, some brains. So today we are learning about control flow, how to make your program decide, repeat, and react to different kind of situation. So what we'll do, we will cover if else switch and loop like for while and do while. So let's get started. So what we're going to do, we'll create a file first. We'll say that's a control.js, right? This is our file. And so the question is, what is control flow? Like, right? So by default, JavaScript run runs code line by line, top to bottom, right? But sometimes we need to make decision or repeat action like checking if a user is logged in or counting item in a list or not. That's where control flow comes in, and it helps us control how and when certain parts of our code are executed, right? So let's switch to the if and else, right? So let's start with the most common control structure. The first one is the if statement. So if a statement is basically, let me write a code and I'll explain then. So let a is equals to 18, right? So we have declared a variable that say age is 18, and we are going to check if age is greater than equals to 18, right? Then we are going to say console.log, and we are going to say you are an adults, right? So this is what we are going to do, and let's run it. So we'll say node control.js. Let's say you are an adult. Now suppose if someone not met the condition, if the condition inside parenthesis is true, the code basically give us the you are an adult. But what if not? So that's where else comes into the game. So we'll say else console.log, say you are minor, right? And let's run it. Say you are an adult, right? So this is what we are checking if age is greater than equals to 18, right? Let's change this. So we'll say this is 15, right? Now you've changed this, so let's run it. It's a you are minor because age is below less than 18, right? Now suppose you want to check the multiple condition. If something happen, if else, right? If happened, if this, like suppose let me write an example, then I'll explain what I'm trying to say. Let me comment this, and you wanted to say let score equals to 85, right? This is what we declare, and we'll say if score is greater than equals to 90, greater than equals to 90, then we are going to say console dot log, and we are going to say grade A, right? Now we are going to say else, and we also check the if. Else if score is greater than equals to 80, we can say 75, then console dot log, we are going to say grade B, right? And then the final one, we are going to say else console dot log. So we are going to say um, grade C, right? So let's run it and see what we get. We get grade B. Now suppose we enter this 65, right? So it should print grade C. It's a grade C. So this is what if else and else if else if and else, and then else if works, right? So let's move to the next topic, that is switch statement, right? So let me comment this first and write it here. Switch statement, right? So when you have many condition based on the same variable uses a switch instead of multiple if statement, right? Now suppose, so let me write this. So let day equals to, you can say 3, and we are going to use the switch case. So switch, we are going to pass the x day, and then we'll write like this. We'll say case 1, it is going to be console dot log. So it's a Monday, right? Let me copy this. Then default console dot log, say invalid day. Invalid day, right? So the second day is going to be Tuesday. Will be Tuesday. Third day will be Wednesday, and then the fourth will be Thursday. Thursday, right? So basically, you switch check each cases until it's find a match. So until it's find a match. So what it does, we have pass 3, right? So it will go inside this. It will come to the case 1. It will not match. Case 2, it will not match. It will find number 3. That is case 3. And it should print the console.log Wednesday. So, and don't forget to add use break. Otherwise, what will do? It will come here. It will come here. And if this condition is true, because of not break, we have not entered the break here. So this is going to be print invalid date. So let me run and see why it is printing like this. So let me clear this and then see it's a Wednesday, Thursday and invalid date. So it print because of after the case 3 all the condition will be true. That's why it is printing Wednesday, Thursday and invalid date. So we'll say break, right? And we'll copy this and we'll paste it everywhere. So don't forget to add break after every statement, right? So this is going to be break, and yeah, that's it. So let's run it. Now it's a print. It print only Wednesday because of the break keyword. Because of the break, it come out of the loop and it prints Wednesday. Right? That's how switch case work. So let me comment it, and we'll move to the next part, that is loop. So loops, yeah. Now let's talk about the loops. So loops is the way to repeat action automatically without writing the same code multiple times, right? So first what we're going to start, we're going to start with the for loop, right? So let's say, let me write this. Suppose you want to print a number from 1 to 5, right? So what we're going to do is say for let I equals to 1. This is going to start from 1, and then I is less than equals to 5, and then I plus plus, and inside this we are going to print console dot log, and we are going to use a template literals, right? Count, and then and this is going to be I. That's it. So what will happen? It will start with the 1, and it will check if I is less than equals to 5. It will run the code and it will keep increasing by 1, and it will repeat until this condition become false. So let's run it and see. Check count 1 2 3 4 5. Now suppose you wanted to print till 100, right? So Let me clear this and let me see. We got the all the 100 number. And now if without loop, if you are going to print like this, that is going to be more hectic. That's where loops comes into the game, right? So that's how loop works. So here it is. Yeah. So this is for loop. Another loop is basically while loop, right? So while loop. So while loop is basically run as long as condition is true. As long as condition is true means let count equals to 1, right? And we're going to say while count is less than equals to 3, right? It is going to say if count is less than equals to 3, it's a console dot log, and we are going to use the template count, then we'll say count, and then we'll do count plus plus, right? So this is what while loop. So it runs as long as the condition is true. It will start. So first will be 1. So count is basically less than 3. It will come here and it will increase. So it will become 2. Then it will again come. Then it will become 3. And then it will be equal to 3. Then again it will come. Then it will become 4. Then it will not goes inside. But be careful. If you forgot to update your variable, it will create an infinite loop. So let's run it. See, we got 1, 2, and 3. That's how while loop works. Now let's switch to the another one. That's a do while loop, right? So let me run this do while loop, right? So let me explain first. So this loop runs the code at least once, even if the condition is false. So it will do something and then it will run. So let's say let num equals to 5, right? So what we're going to say, we're going to do, and it will say console dot log, and then we'll say number is say yeah, template little, we are using template little, we say num, right? And we are going to say num plus plus, right? And now we're going to check the condition. So we'll say while num is less than 5. Here what we are going to do, we are declaring a num as a 5, and we are saying do this and then increase the num plus plus. And we here what we are asking, num is less than equals to 5. That is not true, and still it will run. So let me clear this and run this. Say it's a number is 5, but just remember, if you do while loop, it will not print. So that's the difference between do while and while loop, right? So basically it will check the condition at least once. So the next topic is break and continue, right? So let's switch to the break and continue. Continue, right? So break and continue is the very important part of JavaScript. You can also control loop using break and continue, right? So let's see example. So we'll say we are writing a for loop here. We'll say let I equals to 1, and then we are going to say I is less than equals to 5, and then I plus plus. This is what we're going to say. So we'll say if I equals to 3, we're going to say continue, right? Continue and then column. And then if you're going to say if I equals to 5, then break the loop, right? And the final step, we are going to print console dot log, that is I, right? So what will does, it will skip the, whenever it will come to the 3, it will skip the 3 and continue the iteration. And whenever it will find the 5, it will it will basically completely stop the loop. So let's run it. See, we got 1, 2 and 4 because it start from the 1, it will come to the 2, and then whenever it see 3, because of continue, it skip the current iteration. So remember, continue, what it does, it skip the current iteration, and the break, basically it will stop the completely loop, right? So that's it, yeah. So let's summarize everything what we cover today. So first we covered if else, making decision, switch case, multi option checks, for loop with the counter. Now for loop is basically, suppose you have to print a number of 1,000 million, you can use a loop and you can print it. You can do it, use it for the iteration, you can use it for the mathematical computation kind of things, right? while loop is loop while loop is basically loop until condition false, and the do while is runs once, then check the conditions. Break is basically stop loop early. Whenever the condition satisfied, you can break the loop. Suppose you are running a, basically now, in a simple term, you have a 1 to 500 data, and you want to check if the value met to 399. I want to break the loop. So whenever it will run it, whenever it will see the 399, it will stop the loop. It will not go to the 400 or 400 apart from the 400, right? So, and continue is, if you want to skip the 399, in when your loop run from 1 to 500, it will skip the 399 and then it will continue. It will print all the value apart from the 399. That's it for the control flow. So you just learned today how to control the flow of your JavaScript program using if else, switch and loops. In the next video, we are going to learn about JavaScript function, how to create reusable code blocks that make your program modular and is smart. So if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know comments in the comments which loop is your favorite. Mine is the for loop because it's very predictable and clean. And don't worry about the code. I'm going to put all this code on the GitHub repo, so that whenever you feel you have lost somewhere, you are going to find over that. So thanks for the watching, and I will see you into the next one. Thank you.